All right, moment of truth.
I love to poop.
Folks, it's worth it. It's worth the price of subscription just for that. Boom, here we have a new AI sample generator. This is Waves ILLUGEN. Illusion. It creates or generates one-shots, loops, and sound effects. And the way they're sort of marketing this right now is sort of use it as, use this instead of purchasing sample packs, right? So if you need a piano or something, don't just grab a sample, buy a sample pack, whatever. Instead, generate that sample brand new with Illugen. That's sort of the idea. Now, also to stipulate, I have not used this at all. So if you want to use it for yourself for free, you can do that right over here. Of course, we're going to have a link in the description below. I have not used this at all. I have no idea if it's going to suck, if it's going to sound great. I have no clue. All I did was immediately subscribe. We're going to check it out live here together. So this could go very, very badly. I have no idea what's going to happen here. So let's just hop into it, see how this does. Let's start off with a loop. And from the instructions, they sort of describe this as saying, don't put down, give me, 3 bars or 4 bars of something in F sharp. Instead, what the instructions are is try to describe what something sounds like. So we'll try to do that. But the first thing we have to do, the first thing we have to generate is this. That has to be the first thing, right? Farts, big stinky farts. And this is going to take 2 credits. So we'll get to the pricing of this in just a second. Let's go. Let's see how long this takes. Again, I have not heard this. I have not used it. I have no idea if they're going to give me anything good. And also, this is not a plugin. This is a standalone application that you're going to launch from your computer. So you're not going to find it, in your effects over here. And whenever I click my effects, of course, it hides that window. So that's kind of annoying right now. But here we are, folks. It actually didn't take too long to generate 3 supposedly big stinky farts. So here we go. The inaugural run of Waves ILLUGEN. Next one. Okay, well, it wasn't really a big stinky fart. It was more of music, but okay. Okay, now to be fair, this is not really trained on fart material, but that's the first thing I always like to try. So if you want farts, I would say this is probably not the application for you. I guess we can copy that to clipboard and then paste it in here or something. Let's click this here. So give feedback, show in folders. That's going to bring up the folder of where it saves that for automatically. I can grab it here. And yes, at least in Studio One, I can drag it right in. Obviously some DAWs are different and you can't always do that. But, pretty simple there. Also, before we continue, come over here to the back end. And here we have the creativity level. And the default is wild. So we can change this to tame or wilder. I'm just going to leave it on wild for now, I guess. But feel free to come back here and change that. And also your storage location, your default storage location, you can set that here and download a copy of all of your samples right there. All right, so let's move on to a different prompt. Let's go for a happy time in the bathroom. I don't know. Let's just see. Let's generate that and we'll see what we get. And there we go. Didn't take too long at all. Check it out. All right. I mean, not bad if you want to add that to something else that you're working on. I mean, it's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Let's go back to maybe, let's go up here to one shots and maybe we'll try like, say the most, if I can spell right, brutal metal kick drum. See how long this takes. I spelled brutal wrong. Let's see what happens when I spelled something wrong. The most brutalo. Hey, look, it changed it to brutal metal kick drum. That's good. All right. That one's not bad. So I could take that sample, throw it into, whatever virtual instrument that lets me load samples into it, Contact or, a drum player that you can load samples into. And I can basically create brand new sounds instead of buying sample packs of pre-recorded drums, That's more of an 808-ish sound. I wonder if I spelled it correctly, if it makes any difference. Let's see. Okay. No. More electronic sounding. Okay. I wonder, let's try if we add the word acoustic. The most brutal acoustic metal kick drum. Let's see if that works. Say we want to generate one shots. That's better. There we go. You just need a little more direction. Okay. So that one's actually good. So now I have a custom sound, a custom kick drum that I can drop into any sample player that I want. And then maybe I could do the same thing for like a snare or whatever, right? So that's actually kind of cool. And the sound is good. I'm not hearing any artifacts or anything like that. Let's try sound effects. Maybe, we got to try this, right? We got to try farts, and more farts. Because that's just what you do with AI, right? Let's see. Farts. And more farts. Maybe under the sound effects model, we'll get something better. Just to be fair to Illugen here, because we tried it sort of on the music mode. Here we go. Series of farts. Now this might work out. Okay, so that was my problem. Okay, so it does work for farts. Okay, you know what? That's all I had to do. I had to change the model it was referencing from loops to sound effects. But maybe we'll try something a little more useful. Let's say a whoosh sound. I guess I should say transition sound, maybe. There's a lot of ways you could probably word stuff. Let's see. It's pretty quick. Let's see. A little long. I don't like these. I probably would have to craft this a little bit more, like a short whoosh sound. And we also have controls up here, medium, long, or short. Let's go for short. Let's see what that gets us. Kind of like just like a little whoosh whenever you're like video editing or something, and you want like a, to go to the next scene. All right, it's not horrible. I'd probably have to keep working with this, make maybe a high-pitched whoosh, but we're not going to do any more of that. Let's go back to maybe a loop. Let's go for, I had a bad day and ate too much ice cream. Let's try that. So we got auto right here. Oh, we can change the BPM right there as well. Like I said, I have not used this at all, folks. This is just using it right here. We also looks like we got randomized dice right there. Let's try this. Just sort of describing something. See what it gives us. Okay, here we go. That one ain't that good. That's better. Okay, I didn't personally like those, but I didn't really hear any artifacts or anything like that. What about a brutal metal soundtrack? I don't know. Let's just try that, see what we get. I didn't even spell sound right because I have a microphone in my face and I can't see my keyboard. But it corrected it for me. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say maybe not for metal. Maybe if we try this more for electronic music or something. Try that synth wave. I spelled it wrong. synth wave, not synth wave, synth wave cool style with a dank beat, yo. Let's see. Let's see if this gives us something cool here. Or not. I guess we'll see. All right, here we go. All right, that's actually kind of cool. That one sounds jumbled. All right, that's actually useful. Again, you just grab this stuff, drop it right into your DAW, build up your track like that very, very quickly. You know, the quality is actually pretty good overall. Let's try this. Let's try some vocals, maybe. Let's say an old man screaming, I mean, you know I have to do this, folks. I don't know. Let's just see. If we can make it do it. That's just what I want to say. Oh. All right, let's see. Nope. Nope. Okay, so they're not gonna let me do that. Let's try something else. And an old man screaming, I love ice cream. What about that? It'd be kind of cool, actually, if they would let us run more than one prompt at a time, you know? If we had sort of the ability to run multiple prompts. Not good. Not good.
I love ice cream. I love ice cream.
That's an old man screaming that he loves ice cream. So hey, the third one got it. Maybe instead of loop, maybe I should do that on sound effect, or maybe one shot. Let's try it on one shot just to see. I don't want to judge this too harshly by choosing the wrong model or something like that. So let's just see if maybe one shot is better for that.
Ever gonna hit Yo Larry White? Run it, yo.
I don't know what that was.
Ever gonna hit Yo Larry White? Run it, yo.
I don't know.
I love ice cream.
Okay, so that's pretty good. So, if for some reason you needed that,
I love ice cream.
then you can go into your, I don't know, you could use it for a cartoon. You could use it for the beginning of a song. Who knows?
I love ice cream.
Okay, so that actually is better. So now, I mean, we just, we got it. We got to try this. I love, here we go, to poop. I mean, because who doesn't, right? An old man. Let's see if we can do this or not. All right, moment of truth.
I love to poop.
Folks, it's worth it. It's worth the price of subscription just for that.
I love to poop. I love to poop.
Dude, they gave me 3 really good ones.
I love to poop.
I could actually stack these up. These are like perfectly spaced out, and they're just different enough to where they have sort of a rhythm to them.
I love to poop. I love to poop. I love to poop.
And I would, of course, repeat that one right there to end it off.
I love to poop. I love to poop. I love to poop. I love to poop.
Boom. And we can put a cool beat under that, you know. So it does work. But maybe you don't have a need for saying I love to poop. That is a possibility. What else could we try? A mournful synth drone. Let's go something like a haunting female vocal crying out in hopelessness. We'll just put that back on auto. Let's see what that gives us. If this works or not. Come on. What do we got? It doesn't actually take that long for the generations. It's pretty quick. Okay, let's describe something else. Changing a tire and getting dirt under your nail. So we sort of describe like a scene or something, right? See what we get there. You know, maybe you have a scene for a video that you're working on or something. You need some music to go under it, maybe. Let's see what this gives us. Not really what I was expecting, but all right. So we have singing angels with awe and conviction. I don't even know what that means. I guess we'll see. How illusion, how they interpret it here. Pretty good. Kind of cool. That kind of reminds me of the Halo soundtrack. You know, that's actually pretty good there for a loop. Let's try randomize. We hit randomize. That pops it in. Do it again. Deep house, dreamy song starter. Okay, let's just try that. So I guess if you don't know what you want, you can just do that. Randomize. That one sounds busy. That's useful. Okay, that ain't bad. But I thought of something here. Let's do a blues drum track with a sick beat, and we'll make it 120 there. Let's just see what we can get here. You can click these bubbles. All right. All right, so most of those are actually useful. What if we just throw this up here for funsies?
I love to poop. I love to poop.
I'd have to space this out and get the timing right.
I love to poop. I love to poop.
But you get where I'm going with that. You can start you can start creating songs like that about poop or non-poop things. Right here with Illusion. It's actually pretty good. It's actually not too bad at all. Well, let's just do some more of this. A dark bell tolling, a synthetic violin stab. Okay, that might be useful for some reason. Okay. What? I mean, that's actually pretty good. That's useful. Okay. I think let's do this here. Let's see. Simple swoosh. Nope. Nope. Of course, this has one shot. I should do this on sound effect. To be fair, I'll just come over there. I want it to be short. Let's do a swoosh. For all you video editors out there, you always need new swooshes because you get bored of the ones that you have, right? That's weird. That's weird. That's possibly usable. I don't know. But we could generate it again using the same prompt, simple prompt, a swoosh, and we'll get something different. Okay, now it's actually useful. All right. So now we got some new swooshes that we can use. Pretty cool. Let's try some more just random stuff here. See what we get. Okay. Not bad. I'm not into that style, but I guess it's fine. I don't know who would ever use that, but I'm sure somebody would. What about underwater battle with a video game boss? You know, so you're making a video game, you're not sure exactly what sound you should use for the boss fight. Maybe pop it into Illugen, and maybe it generates you something, or at least gives you an idea. That one's not too bad. I'd probably do it a few more times. Okay, a cinematic emotional scene between two people, not two people, but two people, leaving for a war. So it's an emotional scene. They're like, oh, we gotta be shipped off now. Oh. Let's see what that gives us. All right. Not horrible, not what I would have chose. Also, no, I would choose something with more violin, personally. Okay, well, I think if maybe I generate this again, it might be okay. That last one was along the right lines, but AI gremlins got in there, I think. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, that's better. A little better. I wonder if I craft it a little more. Leaving for war. Maybe go with piano and violin. Maybe that will shape it better, you think? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. That's not too bad. A little off key. Okay, so clearly this is not perfect for everything. Let's do this one more time. Let's just give it one more chance. We'll do 3 in a row here of the same prompt. Here we go. No. It's not bad, but I'd still have to add something else to it. I wonder why this prompt seems to be screwing it up. Let's do a random one. I bet it'll... Burp loop? Well, we tried a fart loop. You didn't do that. Haunted nursery rhyme. All right, let's see this. Huh. So it hasn't done metal very well, which I guess, I mean, it's one of the least popular genres, so what do you expect? Doesn't seem to do cinematic too well, so maybe it's focused more around electronic or modern sounds. So that's totally useful, you know? Right, that could be a... Alright, that one's just weird. That could be a song starter, you know? Pop a drum loop under that, some synths, you know, whatever you want. We'll do some sound effects. We'll just do some randomize stuff here. The earth shakes as the spaceship lifts off the ground. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's use up all my credits that I paid for. See what we get. Sounds like something's been reversed. Okay, that's actually good. Yeah, I mean, if you make videos, you often need sound effects. So instead of buying a sample pack, subscribing to this might be a little bit cheaper because you get whatever you want, you know? All right. What if we can do, let's see if we can do simple stuff. You often need things like audience clapping or something. All right, audience clapping and cheering. Let's say long. It's going to take 3 of my credits for some reason. Let's see what we get here. Okay, here we go. Jeez, that's loud. Why is it so loud? Holy crap. Let me turn it down up here. Man, that one's loud. That's just distorted. Maybe that would work for like a distance or something. It sounds okay, but it sounds a little fake. Doesn't sound like a real, audience clapping sample. Let's be fair to it though. Let's give it, maybe we'll give it another go. Maybe make it medium. Now let's leave it on long. Let's just see what we got here. All right, see what we got. Nope. Nope. All right, a large explosion in space. Yeah, put in space on there. Maybe it'll do better for something like this. Probably should have put that on short, but let's see what long gives us. See what we get. Come on. What are we going to get? Generations don't take too terribly long. It's kind of a cool sound, but I'm not sure that would be an explosion. I need more of a, like it comes up or something, yeah? Maybe make it on medium. Although it is space, I guess, so maybe it would sound like that. We'll go to a large explosion next and just see if it can do that. All right, that's actually not too bad. That's usable. Usable. Those are usable. Let's just go with a large explosion. Let's see what we get here. Okay. Okay, that was a large explosion. What do we got down here? It's like glass breaking. All right. I mean, not too bad, right? Let's do a few more randos. Sounds more like a long fart. That's one loud door. All right, let's go for a loop. We'll just hit this a few times. I woke up mad today. Make a beat now. Let's see what we got. Come on, make me a beat. And this program will not, give you, this AI will not give you the same exact results twice. At least it shouldn't. All right, might be interesting. Okay. That was actually pretty cool. You could use that for something for sure. The lava level in my 8-bit video game. A futuristic drum groove played on dramatic burp loop. They have the same ones over and over. All right, let's try that. All right, here we go. I don't know what that is. All right, not sure I would use any of those. Let's do it one more time, just to be fair. Maybe this prompt needs a couple run-throughs for the AI to get it right. All right, now that's better. That's weird. All right, that one's kind of cool. You could use that. Yeah, that could be useful. Let's see if we can do a female vocal loop singing about being in love. Let's see. What if I should put like a artist name in there? I'm pretty sure they filtered those out. I mean, they would have to, right? Let's see what we got. If we can do this.
I love you.
Okay, we can do a vocal.
Wow, blah, blah, blah. I love.
Okay. I was wondering if it would give me like multiple words or something instead of just, I wonder if you can say a female vocal loop, singing. I'm not gonna do it. I broke my ankle, so now I have to. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if we can get specific. In this here. Let's see what we got.
I broke my ankle, so now I broke my ankle.
Well, she didn't. She almost had it.
I broke my ankle, so now I have to fall. I broke my ankle, so now I have to fart. I broke my ankle, so now.
Okay, so we can do some vocal stuff as well. Let's do a couple more vocals, maybe. An old man. All right, an old man singing in a rap style. I'm the real gangster. Snoop got nothing on me. Let's see if it lets us do that. Nope. I'm not sure what even that's even saying.
I'm the real gangster. Bro, nothing on me. I'm the real gangster. Bro, nothing on me.
Will they not say Snoop? I wonder. Maybe I shouldn't say singing. Let's try this here. Let's try that. Let's really try to copyright it up here. There's no way they're going to allow any of that in the actual prompt down here. Just diss track loop is all they give me. Yeah. It's pretty cool though. Yo, feel me. That would actually work. So does that. Yo, Biggie's back. That works too. So it does pretty good with modern styles. It doesn't seem to do much for metal styles. Let's do one more metal. So let's go for an error occurred. I wonder if it's because I used the word death or if it was just an error. An error occurred. I wonder if their servers are down because there's... There we go. It may have not been the word death. I don't know. these AI models get censored and stuff. Let's see if this is any good. No, that sounds like actual metal, like scraping it or something. No. It sounds like it would be cool if it wasn't just completely jumbled. So, if you're into metal and you want to generate metal sounds, it doesn't look like this is quite there yet. But if you want to generate, see, error occurred again. Let's just do this here. The sound of a clock that doesn't care about time. See if this works the first time I do it. Yeah. What if it has trouble with, it probably wasn't trained on a lot of metal sound, metal music, Just a guess. It's not bad. Okay. Yeah. All those sounds are definitely useful. To digital particles. It may be kind of cool. A glass that shatters. So what will the AI come up with? So instead of buying your sample packs, you can subscribe to this. Yeah. It's not bad. Subscribe to this instead of buying sample packs. Just create your samples fresh, new. Never been heard before sounds, See what we get here. Kind of cool. It's not too bad. Generate more. You could take that, generate the sound of a kick, have a completely custom drum set. That's pretty cool. Yeah. If you use a lot of one shots, I can definitely see how this would be very, very helpful to just create brand new sounds really quickly. Same thing for loops and even sound effects. It doesn't seem to do some sound effects very well, but others it seems to do just fine. So we'll do one more here, I guess. Soft arpeggiator made of glass. Now forget that. Made of poop. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what those those sounds are. Let's try to get something good here. All right, we'll try that. Robotic samba played with hydraulic limbs. I'm going to click these bubbles. No. That's all right. Okay. Let's see if I can do something like that. Modern pop music with a female vocal. Let's see if that'll do anything for us. If it gives us a vocal, if it gives us just music. I guess we'll see here. Okay, not what I expected. Also not what I expected. Okay, so let's try like this. A sad girl singing about how she's strong, which is basically every pop song out there. I'm sad, but I'm strong. I'm a firework. I have girl power. Whatever it happens to be. See what we get here. No. Might be usable, but not exactly what I thought it would come up with. I wonder if sad is throwing it off. Let's just go with that. Let's see if that gives us something more poppy.
I'm unknown and I get hate. You want to wind up here.
All right. I don't know what that is. I might have to prompt a little bit differently. Yeah, they got a whole prompting guide. So don't just take this video as, you know, the only thing it can do. Plus the model's always getting better. Look at that prompting guide, and you'll probably come up with other ideas, different ways to prompt. You know, models, they perform differently with different prompts, and you know, sometimes you gotta prompt them a certain way. So like, that's good. A slow, jazzy drum shuffle with warm tones. That works. That works. That's phasey. So 2 of those actually work. Let's try this. Let's try that. If I can make a more of a feminine sounding, like, pop track. That's more hard. That's lighter. I should have said light tones. Maybe if I go with light, and we'll get rid of the shuffle. A modern pop drum and synth. Why not? Let's go with synth. Drummers. Let's try that. Let's see what that does. Well, the drums are okay. It's kind of basic, but usable. I mean, those are usable. Nothing special about them. A screwed track with butter sauce. All right. I don't know what that is. I could actually see that being used. I mean, maybe if you're doing some sound design for a video game or something, that might possibly come in handy. Do a couple more here, and then we'll head over to the website, look over some details real quick. All right, not bad for your one shot. We'll do one more loop here. All right, not bad. That's not bad. What if we do Indian flute? Whispering Secrets 2. Try that. Let's see if that gives me more of a tribalistic sound or something. Not bad. Oh yeah, that's good. That's not bad. Okay, so we modified it there a little bit. Alien choir singing in a temple on Mars. That stinks. No. All 3 of those were completely unusable. Come on, give me something usable here for me to stop on here. Cybernetic choir singing. Why cybernetic? Just give me something regular. Female. Let's go for female. Doesn't have to be cybernetic. Let's just try a female choir. I don't know what a neon cathedral is. I guess we'll find out. All right. right, not too bad. Let's go for something more regular here, real quick. What about a funky 80s guitar lick? Let's see if it can do this here. Doesn't seem to do metal very well, but maybe it does 80s a little bit better. All right. All right, that's not too bad at all. Let's go for a hard hip hop diss track. All right. There we go. So that's useful. That works. That's pretty dirty. I like that one, actually. Pretty cool. All right. And then you could do maybe a melody on top of that. All right, so those were all pretty cool. Over to sound effects. Let's just do the cat opened the door. Why not? Why not? A force field flickering in and out of existence with a distant metallic hum, because that's a sound that we all use every single day. Not bad, though. Yeah, it's definitely a sound that you could use. Well, that one's perfect. Sounds just like it. That's actually pretty cool. A robot dog paws on more. All right. We'll check this one out here. Yeah, this would be really useful if you just like to generate sounds for your videos. And the loops and the one-shots are good for musicians. Of course, sound effects are fine for creating music too. But overall, it's not bad. Not bad at all. Most of everything we checked out in this last about hour or so has been pretty good. We ran through about half of my freaking credits. We got a lot of really great samples here.
I love to poop. I love to poop. I love to poop. I love to poop.
I mean, who doesn't love that? That's just absolutely perfect. So if you want to check it out for yourself, you can head right over here. Of course, the link will be in the description below. And you can try out everything that we tried in the standalone app. Try it here on the website for free. You got like 30 trial credits. Do your one-shots, your loops, your sound effects, all that stuff. They give you little tips down here, the setting, the sound, and the mood that you might want to, spell out there. Then you have some prompts here that you can just hit. All right. So real quick, describe a scene, mood, or crazy idea. Illugen will convert it into sound. Get started. So you write your prompt, all the stuff we already showed, drag and drop. And I have the desktop app, sounds that nobody has ever heard before. Some more videos there. And down here, we finally get to the pricing. So 150 monthly credits. I think we blew through well over 200 just in that hour, but I'm sure most people aren't going to try to make it to produce several different fart sounds over and over. So 150 monthly credits. You got 8 buccarinos, 300 monthly credits, $12.99 a month, $13 a month. then 20 for 600, and then you get like a welcome bonus here on all of these, but that's only for your first month. So I guess it kind of depends on if you're somebody who uses lots of samples and loops, and sample packs easily cost 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks. It just depends, just depends on exactly what you're purchasing. So, this may be worth it for you, especially if you use lots of different samples, or if you're a video editor, video creator, and you want to create some different sound effects that you might need instead of having to purchase. If you buy sample packs as a video editor, those usually cost even more than things that you usually get as more of a musician. We go to FAQs, basic stuff here. Tips for getting good prompts. They have prompt writing tips right there if you want to check those out. Any musical requests that it doesn't follow, and then at the moment they go through all the stuff that only works in a 4/4 time signature, and extremely specific requests might be interpreted differently by the engine. So that's why they recommend mood, vibe, and energy. For those of you who are saying, well, can't I just load the model on my own system? And the answer to that is, at least right now, you cannot. And can we import our own sounds? Not at this time. That would be cool to be able to have your own sounds and generate something from sound. There are some things that already do that. Does it work with MIDI or sync tempo? Not currently. But of course, pretty much every DAW already has, like a audio to MIDI generator. So you can generate something in Illugen here and then pull that, turn that into MIDI, and then use the MIDI with, whatever you want. So down here to the subscription FAQs. So it's a subscription-based service, and that means even if you have Waves Mercury like I do, this is not included in Mercury. So you still have to pay for it on top of your Waves Mercury, even if you're up to date with your WUP. A bit about the rollover credits. You can buy more credits right there. Keep your downloaded sounds, even if you stop your subscription, separate from the other subscription there. So who owns the samples? So you own the rights to the samples, but they're not for resale. They're only for usage. So you can't, you can't make a bunch of sample packs using the samples you created and then sell those for 20 bucks each or something like that. Can I sell my generated samples? No, you cannot. You can only use them within your original works. Of course, you can use it for commercial projects. Okay. And then what data was this trained on? It was trained on exclusively on documented, legally owned material. Can I use Illugen offline? And not at the moment. Needs an internet connection since the sound engine lives on our servers. And right there, can I run the AI model that powers Illugen on my own computer? And not right now. So maybe eventually you'll be able to just purchase this outright instead of having to buy credits, and you can run it from your own system. But as of right now, this is basically like a cloud service, subscription service, and you have to absolutely subscribe to it. It says not right now, but who knows? Who knows if in this future they'll actually let you download the AI model onto your own computer. But that's sort of the FAQ overview there. And the pricing overview there. Not bad. Again, if you're a sample user, it's not bad. $8 a month. It's not that bad. You'll easily spend way more than that buying a sample pack. Of course, you only have 150 monthly credits. As long as you prompt well, then you should be able to get a good amount of usable, usable sounds out of that. 13 a month. If you're more of an electronic producer, more of a modern producer, then $12.99, $13 a month. Not that bad, really, especially if you want to create new and fresh sounds and you're always using a bunch of different, samples and loops and things. 13 bucks isn't bad, especially if you're putting your music out there and making money off of that music. Of course, if you want even more, you can go up to the $20 a month plan, and you can always buy your extra credits as well. All right, folks. So, hey, this is the kind of stuff that I was telling you guys about back at the end of 2023 when I started telling you guys about the AI stuff that's coming. And we're generating sounds now. Waves is getting into generating sounds pretty soon. This is this ability is going to be built right into your DAW, so you're actually not even going to have like a separate app. It can just be built right into like a sidebar here, where you can just say, hey, instead of coming over to my loops tab or my files tab, I'll come over to my AI tab, and I can just type right into my AI tab, I need the sound of a super large kick drum with a tiny sounding snare that's made of bronze or something like that, right? I'll be able to do that directly from my DAW, create those sounds, pull them right into my DAW. Eventually I'll be able to, Waves already came out with like a new EQ just like a few weeks ago. That's, an AI-based EQ. You're going to be able to have your plugins, basically integrated with your DAW, to where, again, you're going to have like a little notepad kind of thing like this, and you're going to be able to say, make this track sound brighter, make this track sound darker, or compress it, or make it more even. And it will just do it for you instead of having to head over to your effects, dig down to the effects, grab the effect, throw it on the track, then manipulate the effect. You're going to be able to do all of that integrated directly within your DAW. You'll also be able to do things like, hey, mix my song for me, mix and master the song, and it will literally mix and master the entire song for you that you created through a bunch of generated sounds that you put together. And it's going to take, basically it's going to take all the work out of it. Prompting is going to be like the new rock star. It's like whenever, say, early 2000s, late 90s, everybody wanted to play guitar. Now nobody wants to play guitar, right? Nobody cares. Like, oh, you play guitar? Yeah, but can you prompt? Because that's where it's going to be. You're going to have people who are able to create really cool prompts and create really cool sounds from their prompts. And those are going to be the new, musicians that are at the top of the heap. And, that's just where it's going, folks. Listen, if you don't like it, I understand you may not like it. I'm just here to report to you what is going on. And that's exactly what's going on. And that's exactly where we are heading. So anyway, that's actually pretty cool. Oh yeah, that works. And like I said, folks, this is exactly where we're going. You're going to type in a prompt, whether you're working on video or you're working on music, you're going to type in whatever you want. I want a metal guitar sound. I want a poppy synth sound. You'll type that in, you'll get your little track, you'll take your track, you'll throw it into your DAW, then you'll be able to, because your DAW is going to be content aware, and then your DAW will then be able to generate a complementary track to the one that it already generated, and you'll be able to generate your synth track, your drum track, and have them as individual if you wish. Of course, it can all be combined, and then you'll be able to say, mix that for me, master that for me, and it will all basically be done for you with just a few prompts. And that's where we're going as far as music. Recording will still exist, but it won't be like it is today, where basically everything has to be released like it was a few years ago, where everything had to be recorded. We're going to be able to generate sounds, and generating sounds is what the majority of people are going to be doing. They're not going to be playing instruments. They're going to be generating sounds and putting full songs together. So that is where we're going, folks. I told you that back in 2023. A lot of people got very mad, but hey, I kind of know what I'm talking about. Okay, Waves ILLUGEN, folks. If you want to check this one out for yourself, again, I'm going to have links for this in the description below. Of course, head over there, and of course, you can try it out for yourself for free right here. You got 30 right there, and if you like it, get your subscription, download the desktop app, and use it the way that we've used it in this video. All right, so once again, that is Waves ILLUGEN. Go check it out for yourself. Once again, links in the description below.
I love to poop.